Hello again. Today we're going to be looking at all the rares and their drops in Dun Morogh. But quickly, just before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thanks for everyone that came out and supported the first one I made, and for all the really positive feedback. I just want to give a bit of clarification about future videos. A few people have asked if I'm going to do more. I'm definitely planning on doing all of the zones in Vanilla WoW, and I'm going to be going in ascending order, so initially it'll be all the start zones. I want to get them done before BlizzCon, and then after that we'll just keep going up, so Westfall, and then eventually we'll end up at like Burning Steps, Searing Gorge, those sorts of places. As with the previous video, I'll be showing you all the locations of the rares within Dun Morogh, what they drop, and the chances of getting each individual item. So hopefully, if you head this way, you too can pick up some sweet loot! Edan The Howler. So Edan The Howler is the lowest level rare inside Dun Morogh at level 9. He's one of the lowest level rares in WoW. There are only a couple that are lower. I think they are in Tirisfal Glades and Teldrassil. But nevertheless, you'll find this guy at the back of the Grizzled Den. He does quite a lot of patrolling. He can be a bit of a pain in the arse to get because you'll normally end up pulling him along with a couple of other Wendigos. However, being level 9, not too bad. He doesn't really drop anything special. He drops a couple of whites. Nevertheless, if you're low level when you're in this, you might be level 5. Could be worth picking these up. If he's around anyway, you might as well kill him. It is a very popular location though, so don't be surprised if his cold, lifeless body is lying there, mocking you silently. Timber. You'll probably run into Timber whilst questing around Iceflow Lake. He's a level 10 wolf that roams around with 2 adds. Surprisingly, he's quite hard to kill for a level 10. That's because you have to fight 3 creatures in total. The adds never leave his side. You're probably going to encounter him dead as well. A lot of players end up accidentally running into him and just killing him. As for loot, the loot is not too great. He drops some cloth braces and some leather gloves, both whites, no greens. In my honest opinion, I wouldn't recommend killing Timber. The primary reason being, if you do die, you'll spawn at the graveyard in Coldridge Valley. And is it really worth walking 10 minutes back to your body in order to get a couple of common items? I'm not so sure. Now here's a handy tip for you. While you're around Iceflow Lake, look out for Paxton Ganter, the fishing trainer. If you jump into the lake and go to the bottom, you'll actually find a battered chest. Not many people know that's here, and it almost always contains a green. That is unless somebody's looted it first. Gibblewilt. So next up we have Gibblewilt, a level 11 leper gnome that lives around Gnomeregan. Gibblewilt actually has 2 different spawning locations, although one seems to be chosen a lot less than the other, and they're positioned either side of Gnomeregan. I saw him here in a dwelling of a few houses surrounded by a couple of other leper gnomes, and as you'll see, I also ended up pulling 2 additional adds. So if you do want to kill him, you might need to bring a friend, as these things do quite a lot of damage. As for loot, he drops some really weird cloth items. Both have strength on them, and they're both cloth. I'm not really sure who has a use for this, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Great Father Arctikus. So if you're questing around the Gnomeregan area, you'll probably end up going into Frostmane Hold. There's actually a rare inside Frostmane Hold called Great Father Arctikus, and he's at level 11. The problem with this rare though, is that he has 3 abilities, and 2 of them allow him to heal, the other one gives him a great big boost to armour. He patrols around one of the crevasses. You can easily jump down there, but I wouldn't advise it as there's 2 other creatures there waiting to ambush you. If you go the long way around however, and kill him, you could be rewarded with the Frostmane Scepter. It's really good, as maces can be used by all Dwarven classes and 2 Gnomish classes. It's definitely worth picking up as well because the damage is quite high and it gives +1 stamina. The drop rate isn't too bad either. It's also worth noting that right after Great Father Arctikus, if you keep going around, you'll end up coming to a battered chest, and if someone hasn't already looted it, you'll also get an additional green. He's definitely one of the most worth rares in Dun Morogh. Bjarn. So next up is Bjarn. He's a level 12 bear that roams around in the Tundrid Hills. I'm only going to mention him quick as his drops are pretty garbage. He only drops one thing and it has a 25% chance to drop. It's a common leather vest. I think he has a slightly decent drop chance for a random green, but I've killed him 5 times and I haven't had a green drop once, so still pretty insignificant. I really wouldn't waste your time unless you're deliberately looking to kill all the rares in vanilla WoW. This is definitely a skip from me. Hammerspine. So unfortunately Bjarn was quite disappointing, but our next rare here, Hammerspine, is anything but. Not only does he spawn near a chest, but he also has a chance to drop a really good two-handed weapon. That weapon is called the Ice Pain Warhammer, and is one of the few weapons that actually has 2 strength at low level. The problem is Ice Pain Warhammer only has a 30% drop chance, and unfortunately I didn't get it this time round. However, you're not really missing out if you go up to get Hammerspine, because there's a chest there as well. So even if you are really unlucky like me, you still have a chance to get a green. You definitely need to check this out if you're a warrior or a paladin though. This weapon is not going to be beat until you at least get to maybe 13 or 14. That 2 strength is just too damn good. That about wraps up the rares in Dun Morogh. I think next the video is going to be Teldrassil, and then I'll be moving on to the Horde starting zones. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and a comment, and if you aren't already, please do subscribe for more videos.